Hi, my name is NURUL SYAZANA binti RAZMIN. I am a dietetics student. My matrix number is 066675. In this video, I will discuss on the production of durian crepe. We are now looking at the definition of halal hazard point, halal control point, and halal critical limit. Halal hazard point is a source, situation, or act that has the potential to cause harm or contamination. All elements that cause a product or service to be non-compliant with halal standards are referred to as harm. Next, halal control point is a point, step, or procedure in halal food manufacturing at which control can be applied, and as a result, halal food cross-contamination and haram hazards can be prevented and eliminated. Next, halal critical limit is identified points within the processing of halal food that would otherwise lead to a religiously unacceptable situation known as nudge, which would ultimately lead to the product's condemnation, and thus a control must be placed. Next, this is the list of halal hazard and its likelihood, severity, and risk ranking. We will discuss specifically on our main ingredient, which is durian pulp. When receiving the durian pulp from supplier, it might be contaminated with nudge or non-halal material. It might happen during the transportation to the factory. The likelihood of this to be happen is moderate. The severity is critical, and the risk ranking is significant. This process has been classified as halal control point. Of course, there is control measure taken to avoid this from happening, which is to provide special specifications of the products, where it is including the transportation use should not be the same as any non-halal material. Next, this is the flow diagram of durian crepe production. First, we will look at the flow to produce filling. There are two halal control points in this flow. As you can see, only the first step, receiving raw material, and the last step, storage, are classified as halal control point. Raw material is classified as halal control point because of the possibility of getting contaminated with nudge or non-halal material during the transportation to the factory, especially our main ingredient, durian pulp. While storage is also classified as halal control point because inaccurate temperature settings can lead to spoilage, which can be hazardous. Next, look at the flow diagram for durian crepe production. Only the first and last step of this flow diagram, which are receiving raw material and packaging, are classified as halal control point. Eggs and vanilla essence become the issue in getting halal certification, thus become HCP1. This is because eggs might be contaminated with nudge, which then lead to hazardous food. As for the vanilla essence, usually because it contains alcohol, which is a non-halal ingredient. Thus, as a manufacturer, we should use vanilla essence which contain not more than 0.1% of alcohol and is halal certified. Next, the packaging is classified as halal control point. The common issues are the material of packaging used, defect packaging, and labeling. The material used should not be carcinogenic material. Defect packaging can lead to cross-contamination with nudge or non-halal material during transportation to consumers or can cause spoilage. Next, the packaging should have proper labeling with a halal logo. Other steps in both of these flows are classified as control point since there is very low possibility of getting contaminated with nudge or non-halal material either from the ingredients or tools used. All the tools are only used for halal food production only. The factory also provides its workers a workshop where they teach them about special regulation of cleanliness and make a very strict rules about it. Next, this is the plant schematic diagram of durian crepe production factory. Next, this is the decision tree of durian pulp. Next, this is the table of control measure and corrective action. If the quality of durian pulp does not meet the required specification even after carrying out the control measure, a corrective action should take place, where we must reject the product. This should be checked and verified during receiving by receiving clerk. Next, this is the NCR report. That's all from me. Thank you.